Hey guys! Hello YouTube. Hello all, the Dave DY Show. Welcome to the Dave DY Show! Monumental day today. The 2019 Oscars. Yeah, red carpet. So much controversy around it. I don't know who's going to be watching. A lot of controversy around the Oscars themselves, but also around the films, the actors, the actresses, the Academy, everything highly ethnic this year, which I guess is good. Remember the year when Denzel and Halle Berry were nominated, I think 8, 10, 12, something, for the movies that they did, and it was controversial, and it was applauded that peoples of color, I think we're all peoples of color, right? I don't get it, don't care. I struggle with all this, though I completely understand it. I want to be the greatest and most popular and most beloved actor or actress or filmmaker or producer or whatever. Shut up! Phone's going off. Dude, before you start the podcast, put your phone on vibrate. Son of a bitch. Yes, back to the Oscars. The Oscar. The golden statue of lust on my mantle. Yeah. So they're tonight, and let's get right into it. So for the Best Actress nominees this year, we're only going to go through Best Actress, Best Actor, and Best Picture. And I will tell you the truth. Some years I've been very, very attached to the Oscars. I've seen maybe the top 5 movies. I don't know what gauges whether or not the movie is in the category of Best Movie, whatever, or Actor or Actress. I always thought it was 5. This year I think there's 8. As I was saying, some years I'm very informed. This year I'm not very informed. I've seen some of the movies. I did not, or I do not even know what some of the movies are about. And again, this ties, I think, to the ethnicity and the diversity and whatever, which it seems to be that's the last year, the last 2 or 3 years. The hashtag movements, the Black Lives Matter, the DACA children, the global issues around the world for tyranny, oppression, freedom, women's rights, LGBTQ, all of our social issues seem to be in the limelight. Fundamental limelight are the issues of society, our social issues. Not per se our governmental, other than how they interact with that, or our financial, other than how they take care of and pay for, and what programs fund and whatnot. And our, whatever. So they seem to be in the front and center. With that in mind, the 2019 nominees for Best Actress Award in the Oscars goes to Glenn Close and the wife. I think Glenn Close has been nominated many times. I don't think she's been in this elite fold in quite a while. She's a great actress. Her time was a few decades ago. She is a silver-haired actress these days. I think in her 70s, late 60s, 70s. And the wife, I don't even know what the movie was about, to tell you the God's honest truth. So I cannot say whether or not she should be in this category, whether or not her performance for the wife warrants her to be in this Best Actress category, and therefore I have no input. Though she has had an extensive history and experience at the Oscars. She's quite a seasoned actress, a Hollywood legend. So good for her, she's back. Don't know. I cannot say whether or not any of it is warranted for her and whether or not she truly has a shot at the Best Actress. She should have a shot at the Best Actress or whatnot. Maybe this is a ploy for peoples of age, you know. which is always the case. But hell, you got Clint Eastwood, he's up there and he's been on. Michael Douglas, all these guys that do these older gentlemen. So it seems like there's a bias there. So maybe that's why Glenn Close is in this category for a great performance, which she always seemingly does. She is a polished, exceptional actress, and so I would expect that she deserves to be there. And I don't know if she'll win. I think her winning is probably possible. She doesn't have a long shot. She has no shot. That's how I'd categorize it. And the only reason I say that is I haven't seen any of it in the tabloids, in the media, and the mainstream media, and the entertainment news. So it seems to be the only way that you really have a shot at winning this thing is when you're potentially constantly talked about. With that statement, let me segue into whom I think will be the winner. Lady Gaga. Star is Born. It seems that she and Bradley Cooper have been nothing but in all of the mainstream news. In every headline, anywhere, on any network, on any entertainment channel, in any avenue, or in any level of entertainment or social news. So, I love Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is an exceptional singer, an exceptional songwriter, an exceptional musician. She is an extraordinary voice. As an actress, she was in the what was it called? It was the Horrors show that was on, I don't know, Netflix, not Netflix, AMC, whatever, American Horror Story. And she was in the 12 or the 15 part about the hotel that was haunted. I thought it was lackluster. I thought it was extravagant. I thought it was flamboyant. I thought it was shallow. It seemed to me that there were some, ingratiating shots of pseudo-nudity. It fed, in my book, into all of the line items that the Hollywood recipe of today dictates has to be involved for something to be a success. You have to have sultriness. You have to have nudity. You have to have controversial lines. You have, storylines. It's just shit. I thought it was crap. I tried to watch some of it, and it seemed overacted. It seemed relatively plausible in the storyline, but those things seem to go in and out. They have very, very complex, interwoven, extensive storylines. Had the young kid that wanted to be president to take over, to destroy, mankind or do whatever. I don't know. So I thought it was crap. Tracy tried to watch it because she loves Gaga and she loves that American Horror Story. And we watched a few seasons, which were quite well. They were quite excellent. The one where they were the circus. Excellent, right? Oddities and queer items and strangeness and very cool. The clown with the right, and I mean he became the Halloween costume mask for that year. And the miniature woman and the gal and who's played in each of them, who's got an up and coming presence in Hollywood. She's sort of strange looking, sort of odd and quirky. She played the twins. Oh, great. I thought that was a great season of American Horror Story. The Gaga season in the hotel, I gave it a bleh. So, I think she's a mediocre actress. I think A Star is Born held no candle to the original with Chris Christopherson and Barbra Streisand. Just purity, different time. I think this one tried to meet and manage, the trials and tribulations of today, the music of today, the styles of today. I like Bradley Cooper's character. He seemed to be, easy, dysfunctional, broken with his family, the normal ails, alcohol and drug abuse, womanizing, insecurity, lack of social skills. Morals and ethics were, he sort of had them. They were sort of strong. He tried to instill that in her. Just be honest, be true, state of the music. What'd she do? She got caught up in the industry, became great, sort of chapped his ass, and in the end he hangs himself in his garage. Blah, burp. Not very creative. Entertaining, I'll give it that. Good singing. some good musical production. I don't love the song so much, the one where they both sing together. It's got repetitive, cheesy parts in it. It sounds like a cheap pseudo-country-ish song. But Gaga singing anything is fabulous. Let's be truthful. Gaga's excellent. She hits the notes. She's very good. I like her in her niche, which I don't think she'll ever get back to because I think this machine has taken her away from that, where she wore the meat suit. She was off-center. She was strange. She was somewhat socially unacceptable. She was personally unacceptable. Strange relationships, issues with men, issues with her family, right? Struggles with her confidence, herself. Not an attractive woman. She's not a good-looking woman. And when I say that, that's mean. She's not a strikingly good-looking woman. She's not Hollywood. She's a normal female that you'd meet and you'd marry and you'd find her as a deep personal, connection, whatever. So, I don't know. And Bradley Cooper, he is the class A typical Hollywood. I mean, the guy's a chameleon. He's probably as good as anyone else for method acting or however he changes his roles. Great actor. Can move and move and move. He's the Kevin Spacey or the Mark Wahlberg or the Dwayne Johnson or the, who are the big actors of today? The Robert De Niro-esque, not as deep a roles. De Niro's De Niro. Those guys were Dustin Hoffman. To me, they were better actors than anything today. Intensity and purity and But whatever, that's great. Christian Bale. I think Bradley Cooper's good. But I think Gaga will win this. I think she deserves to win this. She's already made statements about the baseness, she's complained about the inequalities for women, the control of men, the lack of opportunity, all the typical things. And maybe that's because Gaga's new to the top level of the machine. I don't know. But she's clearly made public statements. And she seems to be someone who wears her emotion on her sleeve. She's not impulsive, but she's not someone that hides her reactions. She makes broad statements. She's successful in the music industry. She's successful in popularity and social media. She's wealthy. She has no need to feed or to coddle or to cower to meet that machine. And so she's someone that makes public statements. And I think she has. And I think that has an effect. And they're not tainted like some of these folks that have gone. So yes, Gaga is going to say what she wants, and it will probably be her opinion, her own experience, and therefore it very well may fly in the face of the accepted responses for Hollywood royalty. Ruffle feathers, come across as, but nowadays it doesn't seem to matter. It seems like much of Hollywood royalty are in the dark recesses and cracks of Hollywood because of the unethical, unjust, and unlawful things that they've pursued in the great fame, fortune, and power that they've assumed. Which any model goes through these type of iterations. When you become above the law, when you become untouchable, often you compromise your morals and ethics, and that's what's happened in Hollywood. And that's not to say that Hollywood hasn't been producing good output, good content. I think there's been great content. But I also think that the non-mainstream Hollywood content, which has been exploding, and the mainstream and even off-mainstream Hollywood content has been diminishing dramatically from the major film houses and from the minor or up-and-coming. Like, Steve Jobs and his Pixar and some of those, which they just seem to be great, which is odd because when you remove the human role and it's just voices, there still seems to be a purity, which is awesome. But I love the independent filmmaking. I think it's awesome. I think the foreign filmmaking, awesome. I think there's great movies that are coming out. And it shows up, I guess, in this year's Oscars. I don't know what Roma is. It seems like it's a story about a female, a mother of children in Mexico that has 2 individuals assist her with her living while her husband's away on an extended period. Don't know the aspects of it. Again, it's an ethnic film. It's a film of diversity. I don't know if it's subtitled or if it's in English. I haven't seen it. I probably won't see it, at least not in the near future. So I can't really speak on it, but it's supposedly one of the better, and it's up here at the top for the best actress. Yalitza Aparicio for Roma. She is up for best actress. I think it's I think it's minimally likely that she'll win. I think she's got a shot, but I think it's 1 in 5 or 1 in 8 or 1 in 10. I don't think she'll win. Olivia Colman in The Favorite. I don't know what The Favorite is. I didn't see that movie. Olivia Colman, I don't know who she is. So I can't speak on behalf of that. I don't think she's going to win, but that's me. And that is likely my ignorance because I haven't seen this. But again, I didn't see the trailers for it. To me, it wasn't memorable. I like any type of movie. I'm not just an action movie or a sci-fi or, a horror type of guy. I'll watch any movie. And that hasn't been one that's been in the mainstream. So I don't think Olivia Colman has a shot to win. Probably similar to Yalitza Aparicio. 1 in 5, 1 in 8, 1 in 10. Melissa McCarthy, Can You Ever Forgive Me? I guess this was a serious role for her. Our comedian. I think she's lost a ton of weight. She's met the Hollywood standards, of course. Heavy gal that was funny and was awesome, and sure as shit gets bent to the requirements to continue to operate at the top levels of Hollywood. I didn't see Can You Ever Forgive Me? I think it was a serious role. I don't think she's got a shot to win, though I could be wrong. I think Lady Gaga is going to win Best Actress in the 2019 Oscars for her role in A Star Is Born. I think they won, A Star Is Born won quite a few Golden Globes. I think it was snubbed in there's so many damn movie awards that go out throughout the year. And you try to juggle those. Often is the case, a film that does very well in the Golden Globes pretty much gets nothing in the Oscars. And they hold that because they know that there's larger films that are coming up later in the season that are much more likely to have a prominent role and that the Academy will vote on, right? I don't know if that's the case here. I think A Star Is Born did well, and I think A Star Is Born is going to do well in the Oscars tonight. So I think she wins. Let's go to the Best Supporting Actor for 2019. I've seen some of these movies, and I know all of these individuals. Christian Bale in Vice. Christian Bale's a great actor. He's building a very extensive portfolio of movies. He's very diverse. He's capable. He's sultry. He's got that voice. I don't think he is a legendary actor yet. I think he's a good actor. American Psycho, great, right? The Machinist, great. He clearly has skills. He clearly immerses himself. He clearly is a student of acting. He clearly is a student of people, cultural anthropologist, if you will, on film. So I like him a lot. I didn't see him as Dick Cheney in Vice. I didn't see Vice. I don't even know if that's the topic of a great movie these days. Dick Cheney's an extraordinary individual. Let's put it down for what it is. All the hard issues. He actually ran the vast majority of that presidency, right? He was the master behind the scenes. Master of puppets pulling the strings. That was Dick Cheney. And not only that, I don't know Dick Cheney, but from what I've read, what I know, he is a tyrannical man. Scary individual. I think he's got moral and ethical beliefs that have some sound foundation. But he is shrewd, and I'm sure that dude had people killed on this planet. I'm just telling you, scary man. Scary man aligned with the Bushes. So No nonsense, factual, analytical, logical, intellectual, well-spoken, curt. He reminds me of the Bill Belichick of politics. Who wouldn't want Bill Belichick on their team? Any team. So I think he was a major component of the success of the W era, even with all of his health scares and whatnot. And when I think of him, I don't think of the movie, and I can't recall what it is, where Russell Crowe has the earpiece in and he's watching his children at the school or daycare talking to an individual in the Middle East that's actually planning some kind of coup or some kind of activity to destroy, kill, take over, impede, change, whatever, the major government, the major party. That's who Dick Cheney reminds me of. You see the man across the park. He's on his, wireless earbuds with his iPhone, and he's actually talking about taking over another country or killing people around the globe or crushing tyranny and putting in American values somewhere. Hey! I don't know. Christian Bale. I bet you Christian Bale did a great job at that movie. I bet you his acting was exemplary, though I don't know how the depth of the role was written. It probably has the ability for great depth, but as I said, my view of Cheney was he was a curt man, thin-lipped, briefly spoken. I don't know what you're going to get out of that for a deep character. I don't think he'll win. I don't think he's got a shot to win. Viggo Mortensen, who seems to be the toast of Hollywood for the past decade, right? All of his acting in the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings, The Ranger, right? So I think Green Book falls in line with many of the outstanding items of focus for awards and movies this year. Ethnicity, diversity, people of color, really touching base with the blacks in our country, the oppression of the 20th century, the severe oppression of the early 1900s into the 1950s that led to the race riots and then segregation, right? All of these things that we sort of lived through, live under, never really functioned well, and we're still struggling. Yes, Viggo Mortensen. He's been on TV recently on some of the channels for Captain Fantastic. It seems since The Lord of the Rings, he's done a number of films, independent or otherwise. And if you haven't seen Captain Fantastic, he's 60 now this year. So at 56, 57, whenever he did it, 58, he walks out of a bus and there's a full frontal noodle with this junk hanging out and everything. An impressive man, Viggo Mortensen. And I thought it was a good movie, Captain Fantastic. It's a strange film about this family off the grid, and their mother had died, and they'd sent the mother back to their wealthy family to care for her because she had cancer. And now that her death has occurred, it's the decision of the family, headed by Viggo, with a lot of different beliefs in our government, in education, in moral and ethical structures, in learning, in behavior. And I mean, it's 5 children. It's multiple girls, multiple boys, from 16 or 17 years of age down to children and 6, 7, 8-year-olds. So it's a cool movie and it's a cool study. And it comes back to a very normal ending, right? Balance. Balance is the lesson, right? You have to have balance. Radicalism doesn't work anywhere. It works for a period of time, but ultimately there has to have balance. You have to attain balance. So I think Viggo could win. I think Viggo for Green Book could win this thing. And I think if he played his role, Viggo's a very good actor. Very good actor. Good emotion, good interpretation. I don't recall roles that I've seen him in that were shallow or weak or under or overperformed. I think he's got a shot. So he could win this thing. He could win Best Actor. Willem Dafoe is in this mix at Eternity's Gate. Willem Dafoe's been around, right? Oh boy, Platoon, right? All the way till now. You name it, he's a who's who. That guy's a great actor. That guy can work any angle. That guy can work comedy, action. He can work drama, horror, sci-fi. I mean, he's been everywhere. He was in a number of the comic book movies, the Marvel movies, or the DC movies recently. Willem Dafoe's one of your top actors these days. I don't think he'll win. I think they've put him in for his presence, and he adds another angle to this this category for the males. You put a guy like Willem Dafoe in, and it adds a layer of depth. Will he win? I don't think so. I don't know what At Eternity's Gate is. I haven't seen the movie. I didn't see Green Book, but I heard quite a bit about Green Book. So I don't think he'll win. You've got Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born. Bradley Cooper has won recently. He's been in every damn movie recently. It seems like he has had a prolific 5-10 years. Holy boogie, or what was the one with Jennifer Lawrence? I mean, he was the pot-bellied, his hair falling out record producer or lawyer or whatever. Bradley Cooper's a good actor. I wouldn't call him a great actor. He's a good actor. And he's got some chops. But he seems like an opportunist also. This is a different role for him, and I think he did a great job singing, performing as a rock and roll star. More plausible than many who've attempted this, right? So I don't think he'll win. I don't think he should win. But, and not only that, I think he's moving behind the camera now. He's actually showing growth as a director, as a producer. So kudos to this dude. To me, that means he's going to be around Hollywood for a while, and he's going to get ingrained into this thing. And maybe, I don't know, I don't want to make stupid statements, but, the Harvey Weinsteins or the leeches, the monsters of the dark in Hollywood, maybe some of them will go away and this guy will come up. But he's married, and he's got kids, I think, and this whole thing with Gaga, I don't even want to breach that, right? And what kind of relationship they had, and then how they act on camera, and how you separate that from reality. I've seen some of their interviews. They seem like they have a very sound, developed connection and relationship. And if you have a partner, if you've got someone that loves you, someone, that, I don't know how that works. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me, but it seems off, and it seems normal for Hollywood, right? He has a shot at winning this thing, but I'll tell you what, hands down, my thought, I have seen Bohemian Rhapsody, and I have seen A Star Is Born. Rami Malek, the Mr. Robot, didn't know much about this guy, seen him in a couple roles. He killed Freddie Mercury. He was Freddie Mercury. And that movie, good movie, long, biopic, a biography on a very, very strange and wonderful and unique and troubled character. Much like Michael Jackson, much like anyone else, right? Freddie Mercury. Like everyone else on this fucking planet that's got, depth in whatever they are or whatever they're made of. I thought he did an outstanding job. And I think he's a great actor, and I think he deserves to win the Best Actor for 2019. This guy's got some chops. He seems formally, he seems innately, he seems skillfully able as an actor at a very young age, because I think he's still maybe in his 20s or early 30s. And he did a great job in this role. Maybe it fed to his strengths, I don't know. But I've seen him in that Mr. Robot where he plays a totally different character, and he did a great job in that. He seems to be a very intellectual and able actor. So I think he wins this. I think he deserves it, and I think that'll be awesome. Well, Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga, maybe, right? And then the best movies. And here's the bad part about the best movies. The Best Picture nominations for the Oscars 2019 are, and I haven't seen a lot of these. I'll tell you what I've seen. A Star is Born. I've seen Bohemian Rhapsody. I've seen Black Panther. I have not seen The Favorite. Don't even know what it is. I have not seen Vice. It's the Cheney biopic. I have not seen Roma, the married mother with her husband away for a long time and 2 individuals helping her raise the child. I have not seen, in Mexico, I have not seen Green Book, which supposedly, it's a pretty cool story. It's an integral part of our country. It's a really dark side of our country. And I like those stories. I like those stories, and I think that's good. Bohemian Rhapsody should not win the Oscar. Good movie, maybe even near a great movie, too long. It's the study of a very peculiar rock star. And that's what he is. He's not the greatest rock star. He's just like any other rock star, with all his trials and tribulations, and that's what this show was about. I think you could do the same thing about Ozzy Osbourne. I think you could do the same thing, about Elton John. Candle in the wind. So I think that's going to be a trend that's coming out here. You're going to have these studies of some of these more off-center rock icons. You know, nobody wants to hear about Steven Tyler. Nobody wants to hear about, the Beatles. The Beatles, Paul McCartney. Because we have heard everything we think. So I don't think that wins Best Picture. That was a good picture. It was too long, and it was all over the place, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good production, but I wouldn't categorize it as a Best Picture of the year. Star is Born, a good production. I wouldn't categorize that as the Best Picture of the year. And again, that's my perspective for what I hold as a Best Picture. Best Picture's really got to be a great picture that captures a lot. It's in tune with the times. It has recognition, by a huge swath of people. Meaning to me, it supersedes race, boundary, religion, sexuality, all that. And I don't know if any of the films this year do that. And I think that's this year. I think that's the era we're in our culture in the United States. Sorry. So I think we're going to have an under-delivery on this. Whatever. I did not see Green Book. I think Green Book might be able to win this thing. It's a critical, dark piece of our history. It's got a couple great actors in it. I don't know the black dude's name. Nick Vallelonga. He seems to be a great actor. He seems to play a great role with Vigo, who drives him around in the South, going to these gigs as a horn player or whatever he is, a little Louis Armstrong or whatever. And I bet that's a good movie overall. I bet it's polished and a solid storyline, and it talks about the human factor. And it's, this thing's got a lot of facets. I think that thing might win. Black Klansman, you got Spike Lee, another Spike Lee joint. Another Spike Lee joint. Whatever, dude. Spike Lee. Spike Lee is a creative and a wonderful and a diverse and ethnic and a popular director, writer, whatever. But he hasn't ever broken out of the shell that encapsulates him. And it's almost impossible to do that. Few people can do that, can evolve beyond what they are. And I'm not making a statement about people of color. I'm not making a statement about anyone. Greatness is so hard to evolve into. And it needs to be a part and parcel of you and your unending satisfaction or pursuit of satisfaction, of perfection. Few people have that. And then it's got to be failure and loss and whatever. The statement's been on this one that it's Spike Lee's best film. Best script, best directing, best film. And I don't know, it's about some black dude in the FBI that infiltrates the Ku Klux Klan or something. And I'm sure it's got a lot of underlying themes and statements and whatnot. And I'm sure it's very creative. I place Black Klansman on the level, I place Spike Lee on the level of Kevin Smith. A highly intellectual, very able director, writer, producer, but not legendary, not unique, not great, held by bounds, sort of stuck in a shell, which most of us are. That's just human, man. Few people evolve into that level. I mean, you know, that layer outside. I think one of the people that has assumed that recently is possibly Ron Howard. The guy has just changed into something greater, with any perspective, with any view. And it's that crucible continually grinding through at all costs. And I think his daughter has expressed recently, the little redhead that's been in the movies with Platt, Chris Platt or whatever his turd name is, that does the, you know, the dinosaur movies, Jurassic whatever. She sort of expressed, yeah, I didn't really know my dad. If I knew him, I was on set, you know. Ron Howard lives in movie. He lives in that, and it's at an all cost for the most part. And I don't think Spike Lee and I don't think Kevin Smith or any of those guys ever assumed that. So they're great, they're good, they're great, but they're not exceptional. They're not the greatest. They don't fall in that line. So I don't know where Black Klansman lands. I haven't watched it. I probably will at one time or another, but I don't think it wins. Maybe it could. Maybe it's got a shot because of him, because of, you know, he's been snubbed. Do the right thing, right? White men can't jump. I mean, he's got a lot of films. Don't know. I don't think so. I'd be surprised if it happened. Black Panther, I've seen. It's a comic book movie. No comic book movie I've ever seen deserves to win the Best Picture. It is a great film. It's purely fantasy. It might win Best Sci-Fi or Best Fantasy Film, but I don't agree. Like, so compare Black Panther to Avatar, where you had this race on this planet that was being dominated by a foreign force that was destroying their race. I'm sure there's connotations that are similar to Black Panther. I'm sure there are. Avatar was unique. It was a unique script. They were unique people, and the CGI, the human interaction was unique. That was a next level movie. I don't think Black Panther was that. Black Panther followed a comic book line. It followed a storyline. Pretty cool. It was awesome. Great movie. A little long, in and out, like, you know, normal comic book movies. Ebbs and flows, you know, high points and then, you know, slow periods. I don't think it deserves any best anything at this level, so I wouldn't vote for that. A Star is Born, Bohemian Rhapsody, as I said, I don't think they deserve to win, though either could. So I think the three that have a shot at this are A Star is Born, Green Book, and Bohemian Rhapsody. And I think it would be fabulous if Green Book won this fucker. Just drove it in there. Because that's real. That shit happened. There was a book that if you were black and you were traveling across this country in the 1930s, 40s, or 50s, you followed with stops, maps, locations, contacts that weren't in other books. Your other standard Rand McNally map, your other standard travel accoutrements on how to go wherever you went because you didn't have a phone and GPS. These cats had an underground listing. That's fucked. It's brilliant. It's necessary. It's fucked. And that's a great story to tell. And I think that thing is the level, especially if it was well done and it's a great production with Viggo Mortensen, Peter Farrelly, and Nick Vallelonga in it. It looked like those guys did great acting. I think that thing should win. I hope it does. Don't know if it will. Those are my picks, suckers, on the Oscars this year. I think it's a good year. I don't think it's a good year in general for pictures. I don't think it's a good year in general for box offices, for theater. I don't know why. It's probably me. I'm probably being unfair. I'm probably being incorrect in my view and the popularity of these. And I'm sure it's dependent upon who we're talking to and what groups and whatnot. I hope it's exciting. I hope that it goes well. I like these, movies. I'm a movie buff. I love movies. I'm filming myself here. I've always loved visual and, video. So I tried to celebrate in this, and this year's been less than for me. But let's see what happens. Let's try to enjoy. Let's cheer on those that we want, from individuals and groups and teams to productions. I'm not up for 4 hours. I don't know how long it's going to run. I'm not watching the fucking red carpet. All these retards in their outfits. All this crap that goes with it. This extension of this day where it's a day of celebration of unique greatness. It's a movie, man. It's just a movie. I don't know how I do know how. I wish movies were not something this large. And they shouldn't be. It's just another facet of life. That's all it is. It's a production on a screen. But unfortunately, that's not the way it is in society or culture. So, we'll see how it goes. Enjoy. Subscribe, like, comment, share. I hope you liked some of my comments. Give me yours. Let's see who wins this thing. Go Oscars! Dave DUI Show out!